Hello everyone. It's been about a month since I made my last video on learning how to paint, which is a little bit longer than I'd hoped, but hopefully I can try to manage my time a bit better in the future. However, I will be getting a lot more busy in the coming months. So I'll just try to be as consistent as I can with it and create videos when I can. To recap my last video, I've been trying to learn how to paint acrylic portraits because it's something that I've really struggled with for a long time, and I want to finally be able to do that. I've also been painting the same subject multiple times so that I could compare my progress between each iteration. I worked on the painting I made in the last video some more, and it seemed like everything that could go wrong was happening. So I just called that painting quits right there, and I decided to start my third one. My method of adding more water to the paint so that I could blend between colors wasn't really working as well as I thought it would. So for this new painting, I'm trying something else, which you'll see a little bit later on. And from my last painting, the biggest issue was that the proportions were so off that I don't think it was ever going to look right. Which is why I decided for my third iteration to use a grid to get a better sense of where the features should be. Just for now, I wanted to make that first hurdle of getting the proportions correct just a little bit easier so that I can actually improve my painting skills. My thought is that if the base I'm working off of is good, then I'll know that when something isn't looking right, it's because of how I'm painting it and not because of how I first laid down the sketch of it. So now here at this point, I'm working on the sketch for the painting. While doing this, I was reading up on using the grid method for art online, and it seemed that opinions on using it are very mixed. From what I've seen, a lot of people hold the opinion that the grid method shouldn't be used when learning to make art because you're just copying what you see rather than actually thinking about the measurements to get those correct proportions. But using the grid was a huge time saver for me, and it gave a much better result than if I had just drawn freehand and measured everything out. But in the future, I'll definitely be going back to measuring things the way I did before, because that's how you really improve your proportion skills. Now, starting the painting, I simplified my color palette a lot with this painting. The skin tones are a combination of cadmium red and yellow, burnt sienna, and titanium white. I did probably use a little bit of other paints, but that's mostly what it was made up of. And I think this made the skin a lot more vibrant than last time, where I mixed a lot of those complementary colors, which made the painting just look a lot more dull. Throughout this process, I made use of a different method to blend paint than I did last time. What I did this time is I put down a large area of paint with one brush, and I use another dry brush to go over and smooth that paint over a larger area, creating a smooth transition of color throughout the skin. In the past, I've seen this be used for paintings, but for some reason I just never thought to use it myself. And surprise, surprise, it actually works very well. So I'm definitely going to be pushing myself to use that method a lot more in the future. Blending out the skin well and capturing a likeness were my two big goals with this painting, and I would say that I reached those goals. It isn't perfect, of course, but I feel like I was still able to learn a lot, and I think that's really the only thing that matters. Doing this exercise of painting the same subject multiple times was really helpful in seeing my progress over time. And I have a little side note. For all of my videos, I try to record in 4K 60 frames per second because I want them to be really nice and I want them to look nice. And I've realized that all of my footage and all of my previous videos was at 1080p. And they're posted in 4K, but they're just not super high quality. And I finally figured out how to get my video to actually be 4K. So this is my first nice looking video. Finally. And it makes a lot more sense now because this one took about 2 hours to download the footage, and all the other ones was just a few minutes. So I finally got it right after 4 videos. That's all I have for now. I'll be checking in to show off more art soon. Later.